Hi guys, I'm Amy Wadsworth of 804 Sycamore, and this video is going to show you how I took our plain dining room walls and added a ton of character with just picture frame molding. It was so easy, affordable, and it just looks so great, and I'm really happy with the results. So if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up for me, and if you want more DIY tutorials and inspiration, please subscribe. Thanks, let's get going. Okay guys, so here is the dining room before. You could see the walls are pretty plain. It was time to add some embellishments, some detail, and I decided to go with a simple picture frame molding. Just add some trim work, keep it all white, keep it kind of classy, not too busy or chaotic. So the first step is really just creating your design, and I just sketched it out on a piece of paper and then I tested it on the wall. That's the key part. I used some painter's tape, got the measuring tape out, really wanted to get a visual where the bottoms and the sides were going to be. I didn't tape the whole pattern onto the wall, don't get me wrong, but I did want to make sure that everything was clear. So then once you know the size of your trim, then you have your cut list. So I headed down to the Home Depot and I picked out a very simple picture frame molding, and I had one wall had 6 of the same lengths. And so what I did is after I cut one, I clamped them together, and that way I could get those perfect 45-degree angles. It's kind of hard. I'm still learning a lot about getting the same angle cuts for all my pieces, but clamping them together seemed to work for me, and I had 2 walls to do that were mirrored identically, so I had a lot of the same lengths to cut. After I cut my trim, I laid it out on the driveway so that I could make sure I did all my 45-degree cuts correctly, and I actually did mess up a few times, had to go back to Home Depot, get another strip of trim. So even when you're laying it out, that's why I lay it out, so that when it's time to install, I don't find that I have an incorrect cut. So if you have the space to do that, I highly recommend it. So once all your cuts are done, you're gonna go ahead and find the middle of your center bottom trim piece. If you don't have a center trim, if it's all symmetrical and you have all the same, you still are going to want to, in my opinion, I would still start in the center and then move outwards. And then I find the middle of the wall and I'm going to mark it. That way, once the center is done, it's much easier to add the sides instead of starting on the left. I really need to make sure I cleared this outlet. So I use a level, mark my center to my center, double check to make sure I have the 5 inches there. And then I just used a brad nail gun and make sure that the nails go in a bit. You're going to patch it all up, but no one's going to see the nails. And I only added 1 nail because I want to make sure that I can bring those corners together perfectly. And once you do that, then it's not going to move, it's going to be great. So getting all my pieces in place, and it's really, really that simple. It's kind of exciting to see it coming together. And since I didn't use liquid nails, because I don't know how permanent this wall treatment is yet, and nobody rubs up against the walls or hangs from the trim, so I felt like it was relatively safe to not use liquid nails. I did find the studs, and I did go and make sure that the pieces were in the studs if they could be. The vertical ones usually weren't on a stud. It just didn't work out that way. But I used a couple extra nails, and they felt very secure when I was caulking, and and fixing it to the wall. So once you make sure everything's level and you have all your nail holes in, then you can just measure out your space from your design and start on the sides. It's really easy. It took about an afternoon to do this part, and then I could have kept going, but I have other things to do, and so doing the finished work started a different day. But I loved how quickly this came together. After cutting all the pieces, it really went up super quick. And when I laid every piece out on the driveway, I could start getting a pretty good visual, and I knew there were no mistakes. So as you can see with my design, I have I've double crown molding in this room, and so I left a little more space across the top. In my blog post at 804sycamore.com, I show all my measurements, just in case you're curious how I decided how far apart to put things. Really, the outlet on each wall really helped me to determine how wide my center trim work would be, and I just wanted it symmetrical. I wanted that really simple, sophisticated look. And so head over to the blog and you can see my spacing. I created a graphic to show that, but there is a little more space across the top. I believe it's 7 inches and the bottom is 5. We have 10-foot ceilings, and so I felt like we needed a little more space between the crown. And I also I don't have the same amount of space in between the window and the wall and the opening of the whole room. It just didn't work out with the outlet. It's pretty close though. I don't think someone would know unless they took a measuring tape to it. But I wasn't going to, I wasn't worried about having it perfectly exact. When I pushed those curtains over, you can't even see the corner anyways. And so I didn't think a 1/4 of an inch would really matter. And I thought it was more important to just keep the trim around the outlet, not have to cut it or do anything fancy. You just really want to make sure that your 45-degree corners do measure up nicely, because when you do that finishing work and you're spackling and sealing your joints and all the nail holes, you really want it to look seamless. So work hard at getting the 45-degree angle cuts really strong and then nailed together nicely. So the next part I was kind of dreading, because I did use a lot of nails and I had all these corners to do, but I like using the DAP patch and paint. It goes on purple and then it dries white, and so as soon as it's all white, I know that it's ready to be sanded and painted, and I love that because I get a little bit impatient. But I just use my finger to press in some of the patch and paint. And you also want to use this in your corners. Caulking always goes between the trim and your sheetrock, your drywall. But this is to connect wood to wood or fill in wood spots. And so, I'm fast forwarding this video clip for you because it would be very monotonous, but it actually did go really quick, and it wasn't too bad. So, and then I did find a spot where it was pulling away from the wall a little bit, and so I just added another nail hole. That's kind of the nice part about this process, is that you are getting a close-up view of your work. Instead of being in the middle of doing it, you're stepping back and you're looking closely, but for a different purpose. So anyways, once Okay, so as you can see, I'm just using a sanding sponge to smooth out all of my patch and paint, and I'm using just a 220 grit. It's nice and fine, it gets into the cracks really well, and then you just need to make sure that you completely clean off all that dust from sanding. And now comes the time for caulking. And my process is I will run a long bead until I can't do it anymore. I have to step in the water, and then I just take a little bit of water on my finger, smooth it out, and then wipe off any extra residual onto just a paper towel or a cloth or something. And my caulking gun, it's really basic, you guys. I mean, it's probably the cheapest one at the Home Depot, and but it works for me. And you just want to make sure that you hold back the pressure. There's a little metal piece at the end. You just pull it back so that caulk doesn't keep slowly squeezing out of the gun. I had to learn that the first time. So anyways, it just actually goes really quick. I'm caulking the entire outside and the inside, and that's it. This part I did it in the evening right after dinner. I did both walls at the same time, and it went pretty quick. So just make sure the surface is clean and you'll be good to go. And now once you're getting to see the other side, I had a murder mystery dinner party, and so that's what that branch is doing there. But once the caulking dries, I let it dry overnight, and then I just added the same wall color to the trim. There was no need for me to repaint the walls. Our house is just about a year old at this point, so almost a year old. So I just I painted over the caulking and the trim just to have it be a perfect match. And that went way quicker than I thought, which was awesome. So if this would have been a bigger deal, or had I used a different color, I probably would have had to tape off everything. I may have used my sprayer, maybe not, but I liked the monochromatic look. I like keeping it nice and simple. So that's it, guys. Good luck with your project. I hope this was inspiring to you. It has added so much to this room. Just that extra detail has really helped elevate it. So please subscribe and watch for more. Thanks.